because it's time for us to get angry at the power rankings. This next lot is our power rankings lot, which is become known as
Two Pricks, One List.
BOLLOCKS.
Go with fancy dance. Get the simple things wrong. A nice tea. There's only one answer for that.
Where did this ferocious determination out there today come from?
The media. Every one of them wrote us off.
The article was rubbish.
You know, it's not my fault that we just haven't beat Kerry in a big game in Croke Park.
I'm going to lose all my life today.
It is time for the power ranking with Eoin Sheahan. Eoin Sheahan's power ranking. How did that happen? You're a clown. It's very, very intemperate language to be using. Go for it, Eoin. What are we doing?
We are starting at number 32 as ever in the first 8 teams you see here. Either didn't play at the weekend or got beaten at the weekend. Predicted by the power rankings, basically. At 32, we've got London. At 31, we have Waterford. At 30, we have Sligo. At number 29 is Carlow. Number 28 is Antrim. Number 27 is Louth. At number 26 is Wexford. And at number 25 is Leitrim. Will any of those teams win a championship match this year? Probably not. At number 24, we have Derry down 4 places. I expect them to be on the rise again, but I just wanted to give a couple of counties their day in the sun, namely Limerick, who are up into 23rd, Wicklow, who are up into 22nd, Offaly, who are up into 21st, and Longford, who are up into 20th. All 4 of those counties recorded wins at the weekend. At number 19, we have Fermanagh. At number 18, we have Down, who are down 1 place, and Westmeath, who are also down 1 place. We'll get to the risers in just a moment, because Clare are also down into number 16th. The big riser, though, here in the mid-teens is Tipperary, up 3 points. Didn't see this one coming, didn't predict them to beat Clare. I thought they would give them a really good game. They're a lot better than they were pre-pandemic with all the players that they've got back, and they got the job done against Clare at the weekend. A huge win for them and a huge rise for them up to 15th. At number 14, we have Kildare, who are down a place. Laois are down into 13th, and Meath are down into 12th. Monaghan also down into 11th. This is because the big risers this week are Cavan, up 5 places. I'm sorry to everybody who knows me for getting swept away by this notion that Cavan deserved to be in 15th place. People from Meath held a national day of protest because they were behind Cavan. Tommy Rooney used the stupid laugh crying emoji when Cavan were ahead of them in the power rankings 2 weeks ago. Nobody's laughing, but plenty of people from Meath are crying now because Cavan are ahead of them, and rightly so. Cork up 1 into 9th, and let's get into the top 8. Armagh still there at number 8. Almost by default, they weren't amazing at the weekend, but I don't think Cavan or Cork have put in the exceptional performance and the exceptional consistency to go ahead of them in the power rankings just yet. It could happen yet. At number 7, we've got Galway. Roscommon 6th, Tyrone are down into 5th, and Mayo leapfrogged them into 4th. And our top 3 stays the same from last week. It is Donegal in number 3, Kerry number 2, Dublin number 1.
Look, you know, there's your Dublin are dining out on last season and everything that we've seen from them. I've made this discussion and this argument up to this point. What have you done for me lately, Dublin? Not great form in the league. Stereotypical Dublin league form. And unfortunately, this year's championship is actually going to be played in league conditions. So,
well, hold on a minute. What is their... tell me about their non-great league form. Explain this to me.
Meath should have beaten them. Galway should have beaten them.
And they didn't. They finished second with 10 points. Kerry topped the league with 11 points. So, like, are you saying that Kerry should usurp them on league form? Is that what we're going on? Because their league form hasn't been that much better than Dublin's. Like, I don't see where you're coming from with this Dublin were bad in the league nonsense. It just doesn't make any sense. They lost 1 game in the National League. They've won 5 All-Irelands in a row. You can dine out on 5 All-Irelands in a row.
Your power rankings have essentially just become the odds that the bookmakers would have if they were opening a book on it.
That would be purely coincidental. I mean, that's purely coincidental. That's the case. And if they're that correct, then, you know, thank you. Thank you for that compliment.
Okay, if that's what you're looking for, essentially, you know, you can look at what it says and go, oh, I've got this as a copy. But you know,
you're nothing copy about this. You've seen these things develop over the last couple of weeks. And
I've seen nothing develop. You've had the exact same plan the whole way through. You've taken no evidence of the current situation into account. You've taken none of the fact that, like, Dublin have a new manager, been shorn of loads of experience, and have looked flaky against both Meath and Galway. A Galway team who were hammered out the gate the previous week. And you're like, oh, no, their league form is sensational. They're just behind Kerry, and they're ahead of Kerry because I can't put Kerry top and ever go home. And I'm actually at home at the moment, and I would be terrified that the Healy Rays are going to arrive at my door with burning turf on a pitchfork and say, Eoin, you had one job, you had to make us number 2, and you failed. And you're unwilling to face down the wicker men. That's your problem.
You're talking nonsense about Dublin. Let's just put this out there, because this is the foundation
but
of
not
your
Kerry.
That Dublin don't deserve. Like, in any other generation, this Kerry team could be number 1. Like, you're talking about this Dublin team, a change of manager. Yes, they've lost one game. They lost one game in the league. That's it. It was before the pandemic. They've come back after the pandemic. They've won both of their games. They go into the All-Ireland Championship as 5-time All-Ireland winners in the last 5 years. They've won 5 million Leinster Championships in a row. How you can pull them down a peg when they haven't played Kerry, when they haven't played Donegal in recent weeks, and they're the teams that are supposedly chasing the pack.
Or Mayo.
Like, they played, like, the last meaningful game they played against Mayo, and like they hammered Mayo last year in an All-Ireland semi-final. Like, I'm just looking
Quick last
at
question. Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to change your mind in Dublin. If Meath, how are Monaghan not beneath them? Because Meath are technically still in the championship. Can Armagh possibly survive in 8th position? And if Cork get hammered by Kerry, do they remain in 9th?
Meath is still in the champ. They haven't played a championship game. They play in the Leinster Championship. Monaghan playing the Ulster Championship. But like, if Meath are that much better than Monaghan, why didn't they beat him in the league a couple of weeks ago? Like, Tommy Rooney and the Meath Mafia almost had like a parade down through the middle of Navan after drawing a game in Division 1. They got 1 point in Division 1. Like, big whoop. They don't deserve to be ahead of Monaghan. Like, I mean, this is not a thing. Like, I'm looking at Monaghan's record. They got 6 points. Meath got 1 point in Division 1. Yeah, Monaghan got knocked out in the championship, but their ranking reflects that. They're not even in, where did I say they are? They're 11th. They're not even in the top 10 anymore. Like, I mean, this is a bad ranking for Monaghan. They're not that bad. They're not below Meath. Not yet, anyway. Let me see a win from Meath. Let me see a meaningful win from Meath before I start putting them into the top 10. They haven't beaten anyone of serious note.
They should both be ahead of Cork until Cork do something.
Why?
Like, Cork got promoted from Division 3. Happy days. Well done. Congratulations. The second most populous county in the country in Division 3.
I'm going to have to stop you there again. I'm sorry, but like Cork and Meath, we both saw these teams as the upstarts last year. They both made the Super 8s. Compare their record at that level last year. Cork were so much better than Meath. They actually won a game in the Super 8s, believe it or not.
It's been a lot of time since the Super 8s last year. A lot of water under the bridge. A lot of lockdowns have occurred, and the game's moved on. I just think that.
Hold on, yeah, there is that. I'm actually. I actually do need to correct a mistake that I made. They actually didn't win a game in the Super 8s last year. I'll hold my hands up on that. I got carried away with the Cork argument because I know somebody would stop me in my tracks there. I know Cork didn't win a game in the Super 8s.
You're trying to just build them up ahead of the Kerry game this week.
I meant
the Healy Rays at the door have had the impact.
I meant to stop talking after I said they were good in the Super 8s last year because they were good in the Super 8s.
Can Armagh survive in 8th position? Should they not be up a bit higher?
A bit higher. Wow,
or lower, I don't know. I mean,
the argument about Armagh certainly on social media last week was that they're up too high. I think that they're definitely holding on to 8th position. They weren't great against Derry last week. I expected them to beat Derry by a lot more than they did. We just haven't seen Cork yet. If Cork beat Kerry this weekend, obviously they go up. Monaghan were another team that were chasing Armagh going into this week in the power rankings, and they lost. They've lost that opportunity. I will say Meath are still in with a shout of becoming a top 8 team if they put in an impressive Leinster Championship.
Okay. Kieran Donnelly's been in touch on Twitter to say, surely the game between Galway and Sligo can't be called off, boys. We'll get to that in a minute. And Yera Ger, will you do your study in Cork and stop slating us Kerry folk for expecting the game of the weekend? Well done, Eoin. You put him in his box. If Kieran Sheahan was playing, I'd give Cork a chance. Unfortunately, he's injured. And so
they're one player away from beating Kerry?
No, I'd give them a chance. And also, he is an unbelievably special player. Like, this is. I mean, you're probably too young to remember him having the kind of impact that Conor McKenna had on that Tyrone team. But that's what Kieran Sheahan was like when he was playing football for Dublin, for Cork, when Cork were good. So anyway, look, I await this game with bated breath, and I can't wait to see Cork run Kerry ragged for 50 minutes, and then Kerry pull it out by 4 or 5 points in the end. That's what I'm looking forward to. On the Sligo Galway situation, Sligo GA have just released a statement. It seems like it's a bit of a holding statement. They wish to confirm that a number of members of the Sligo football panel have unfortunately returned a positive COVID-19 test. The players in question are in isolation and following HSE guideline, as are a number of close contacts. The players are doing well. A number of the squad is currently awaiting further test results. Sligo GA are currently liaising with GA officials at Croke Park and Connacht GA. So maybe they can buy a week. because it's a semi-final? I'm not sure. We'll see. Dara on YouTube sums it all up. Cutting corners again, Sheahan. That is this week's power ranking.